Loneliness. Difficult to describe and difficult to talk about.
There doesn't seem to be much point to life. I'm just waiting to die, really.
Joan is among over half of the elderly population living alone, often with little or no conversation for days.
Which could lead down a pathway of depression, or it could tragically lead to suicidal tendencies in the future.
But we don't often talk about the young, who are also suffering from loneliness and have never been less connected.
So the stigma and the shame and the whatever that might come out of saying, yeah, I'm in this huge crowd, but actually I'm very lonely.
Evidence is starting to show that loneliness is sweeping across the nation and in fact affecting all ages and everyone around us.
Nice to see the Duffs out. My full name is Joan Margaret Head, and I'm 90. I've had to do it for a lot of years now, but it doesn't get any better, the loneliness. I really need to talk to somebody every day, because otherwise you just exist. Without the television, it keeps me in touch with the world, really. All my friends have died off. None of my contemporaries are alive. Neighbours don't call in to see how I am. It just feels that you don't really matter to anybody, only your relatives. People have got their own lives to live. And if you think about it, it starts to get you down. But I try not to let it as best I can.
There's around 2 million people in England over 75 who live alone, and of which maybe 1 million of those people haven't spoken to anyone within a month, for example.
If loneliness isn't sad enough, it is also a health risk. It can increase chances of things such as dementia or high blood pressure. It's even a comparable risk factor for early death as smoking 15 cigarettes a day.
Being lonely can lead to physical problems in itself. For example, if they're not having good food and nourishment, that could lead to other risk factors such as poor nutrition could lead to obesity, which could lead to coronary heart disease or diabetes or even a stroke. If we look at the mental health issues around loneliness, it may just initially be anxiety and lack of well-being because they feel alone, they haven't communicated with someone for a long time perhaps, which could lead down a pathway of depression, or it could tragically lead to suicidal tendencies in the future.
You can really see that the work they're doing here at Age UK is lifting the spirits of those involved. But it is easy to associate loneliness with the elderly, when in reality this is just the surface. Britain has been ranked the loneliest capital of the EU, according to the Office for National Statistics. This is despite 81% of people feeling their life is generally worthwhile. And it has also been found that those aged between 18 to 25 are 4 times more likely to be lonely most of the time than those over 70. Moving away from home, beginning university or starting a new job, these life changes can be unsettling, but what we post on social media is telling a different story. One young woman isn't afraid to admit this and decided to switch off technology.
I'm Florence Omani, I'm 23 and I run my own theatre company. I feel lonely quite a lot. Like if I'm scrolling through my phone, like looking at social media, that's the time when I tend to feel the loneliest. And like switching off from technology, I suddenly feel, oh my God, like how do I entertain myself? Or, you know, like what am I meant to be doing right now? Because staring at other people's lives is not making me happy. Not just me, I think it's quite a generational thing because of the like constant reminder that everyone's doing stuff and that you're not there and that you could be and you should be. And like through social media, people are going like, you know, I've got this job, like I've been promoted, all of this stuff which we've been told to aspire towards. I think that can leave you evaluating your life and thinking, I'm not doing enough.
You know, with the social media generation, it looks like everyone else is having an amazing time and you're not.
In Canterbury, Takeoff is bringing people of all ages together to form friendships. Sometimes people can feel alone when a mental or physical health issue hampers their social interactions. To help these people and others, every Friday at the Northgate Project, they choose a meal, prepare, cook and eat it together.
Everything we do counteracts or tries to counteract loneliness because it's about group work. The medium to long-term ambition is always to get people engaged with things again in the real world, whatever that looks like. I suppose if you're looking for a key message, it would be don't be afraid to share things and don't think everyone else's life is more wonderful than yours, because you might be quite surprised if you had an honest conversation with a friend to begin with, just how other people are feeling.